9 News Plus weather, sponsored by Carrier Colorado. The future of home comfort is here.
Hey, thanks for joining us on this Monday here on 9 News Plus. I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi with an update for you on the snow that we got, especially in northern Colorado. Quite the snowstorm. Just got a report of 13.5 inches of snow out in parts of Weld County in Pierce, that's just the north of Greeley. In northern Colorado, Greeley, Fort Collins, again, mostly Larimer, Weld counties, did see some reports, widespread reports of over 9 inches worth of snowfall. Now for us here in the Denver area, slightly different, widespread 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches of snow across most of the metro area. Did see a few reports closer to about 4 inches north and west of town, north and east and north and west town. Superior, Louisville did see some reports up there around 4 or 5 inches. Also Brighton about 4 or 5 inches of snow as well. But the highest totals as you head north, well north of the city. Timnath, 10.8 inches of snow. Fort Collins about 10 inches. Although officially at the CSU campus they picked up 8.8 inches. Did see a report of 10 inches in town. Severance 8.8 inches. Loveland 7.5. So further north you go. And by the way, here Denver, this is a bit of a reminder. We missed getting a pretty healthy snowstorm by about 50 or 60 miles. So this was close to delivering a pretty good dumping of snow for the Front Range. We just missed out on it. Now, with that 1.2 inches of snow so far this month, we're about 5 inches here in Denver and 46.5 on the season. That is slightly above average, but certainly a little bit below average so far this month here in Denver. Normally on average, March is Denver's snowiest month of the year. That has certainly not been the case so far this season. That said, this March, I should say, in Fort Collins, it certainly has been. In fact, just since Friday, look at this. This is since Friday. Fort Collins up to 13 inches worth of snowfall over the full month, 9.4 inches. And today, Fort Collins, the snowiest day in over 2 years. You got to go back all the way to March the 14th of 2021, the Pi Day blizzard. That was the last time that Fort Collins saw as much snow as what they picked up today. So snow continues north and east of Denver. That's where it's still going. For most of us along the I-25 corridor, the snow's longer over in Dunwith. It's just kind of cloudy and cold. The sun will return tomorrow, and it does warm up into the low 50s, or around 50 degrees for us for a day tomorrow. In the meantime, winter weather advisories continue for most of the eastern plains. Fort Collins, Greeley, you are under a winter weather advisory for the next few minutes until noon. Fort Collins, Sterling, Otis. So as you get out into kind of Washington, as well as in through Logan and eastern Weld, as well as Morgan counties, 3 got a winter storm warning. 5 to 10 inches of snow until about 3 o'clock. Somebody in there is going to come in with a foot plus of snow as well, especially around Fort Morgan. In the far eastern plains, as you got into Sterling, as well as, or I should say, from Julesburg on south through Holyoke, Ray, Burlington. That's where our snow will hold on the longest until about 6 p.m. this afternoon. A snowy Monday ahead for that part of the state. Very well-defined area low pressure spinning its way through eastern Colorado, and that is again pulling away the snow from the urban corridor. And we'll see some peaks of sun this afternoon here along the urban corridor, but that snow will continue for us in this part of the state. Again, the northeastern corner. Fort Morgan, Lyman on east, that's where that snow is continuing, and at times it is heavy for us just to the east of the airport, just the east of DIA, kind of Bennett, Strasburg on east. That's where we're still seeing some of that heavier snowfall at times. Keep that in mind. You're heading east on I-70 or 76 out of Denver. It is very snowy at times. Fort Morgan, heavy snow moving its way through the city right now, probably inch per hour plus snowfall rates right now out there. Now as we head into this afternoon, mid-afternoon, we'll see some of that snow pushing its way east of Sterling, as well as kind of Burlington. That's where we're seeing that heavy snowfall by about mid-afternoon or so, and then that snow will eventually zip on out of here by tonight. 10, 11 o'clock, we got clear skies really everywhere across the state, and that'll give way to a mostly sunny, pretty calm, not only Tuesday, but a really calm stretch of weather for most of this week. Our next storm after this doesn't arrive until Friday for most of us across our state. Temperatures, a lot of 20s for us in the eastern plains. Still some 40s and 50s southeastern plains. That's where we're not being impacted by the snowstorm at all, but from kind of the springs on north, Highway 24 on north, that's where we're still seeing those temperatures and that cloud cover. Those colder temperatures in that cloud cover into the mountains. It is pretty chilly right now, just 9 degrees for our friends at 10,000 plus feet in Leadville. For today, we're only going to top out in the upper 30s. That's if we're lucky. That's if we get some peaks of sunshine this afternoon. I do think we'll see some peaks of sun. I know we've had, I was out a couple hours ago. I did see some sun trying to poke its way on through central Denver. I think we'll see some peaks of sunshine. It's just going to be really cold today. This is what we would expect for the middle of January, but saw a friend of mine tweet that this is like January the 86th out there today. Yeah, mid to upper 30s for us, and this is more than 20 degrees below the average. Our average high this time of year, right around 60 degrees. So when we're talking about highs in the upper 30s, that is pretty chilly stuff for the Front Range for this time of the year. Forecast highs for us, most of what you're looking at running about 20-25 degrees below average. It is cold out there, and definitely a day that you want to stay inside. If you think it's cold out today, look at tonight in Denver, dropping down into the teens, well down into the teens. And by the way, this March is going to finish as one of our coldest Marches in recent memory. This is not that normal for us to be this cold this late into the month of March. It happens quite a bit, to be clear. You know, we can drop below zero into mid-April. It's just not that common for us to drop down this cold. Again, we're talking about March 27th heading into March the 28th. This is pretty chilly stuff for us, and those winds still a little bit blustery out there. It's going to make it feel like about 0 degrees overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning. Speaking of tomorrow, the sun will do a number and get us back up into the upper 40s to around 50 degrees for most of the metro area. That's a lot better compared to today. A few spots in the southeastern plains could touch 60 and widespread 30s for us into the high country. So tomorrow, a lot better than today. And that 7-day forecast, I got those temps getting up into the 60s by Thursday. Then our next storm doesn't look like a big deal right now for the Front Range. A little bit of rain and snow for us Friday afternoon, Friday night, and that will drop our temperatures in the upper 40s. Then we warm right back up again for the upcoming weekend before perhaps another storm for the early part of next week. That is still a little ways out, though. Colorado snowpack levels running well above average. That is the good news, and these will, especially in the South Platte, should get a little bit of a boost from what we saw overnight. But really, again, the good news, and I like always to close out with good news, is that our snowpack levels looking phenomenal. But again, the top line takeaways for us here in terms of that forecast. For us in the Denver area, our snow is done. It's just going to be kind of cloudy and cold for the rest of today, though we will see some peaks of sunshine this afternoon. In fact, by 5, 6 o'clock, it could be mostly sunny out here across the Front Range. From Fort Morgan, Lyman on east, that's where the snow will continue for the next few hours. And the far eastern plains, that snow will continue throughout most of the day today, with an additional several inches of snow possible for us as you get along and east of that Fort Morgan and Lyman line. Fort Collins, by the way, and Greeley picking up 9-10 inches of snow this morning. So pretty impressive snowstorm up into northern Colorado. Snow is staying over 2 years in Fort Collins. For us here in Denver, ho-hum, a 1.2-inch snowfall total officially out at DIA. Once again, I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi. I'll have another update for you coming up at 9 News at noon and at 2 p.m. right here on 9 News Plus. Then Chief Meteorologist Kathy Stevens in at 4 and 5. Then Meteorologist Danielle Grant in at 6, 9, 10 tonight on the 9 News family of networks. Once again, I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi, and have a great rest of your Monday.